10 days out from the Victorian election, the race is tightening. The latest Newspoll, commissioned ahead of official state election campaigning, shows Daniel Andrews remains the preferred premier by more than 50% of voters. But despite that, he could be facing a fight to retain majority government. Labor and the Liberal Party's voter numbers are equal, 37% in the primary vote, as you can see there. And there is concern sinking support for Labor could put outer suburban seats at risk. Our political reporter in Victoria, Simon Love, is travelling through some of Labor's vulnerable seats. He's speaking to voters for a sense of which way they're leaning in these critical contests. Let's bring in Simon now. Simon, you're live from the electorate of Melton in Melbourne's west. Talk us through some of the issues at play there.
Well, Pete, this is an outer suburban seat just on the fringe of metropolitan Melbourne, and it was really affected by the COVID lockdowns. Been speaking to a number of small businesses here in Melton over the past 12 to 18 hours, and many of them say that COVID is still in the front of their minds, particularly what happened over those 6 lockdowns here in Melbourne. Other issues at play include the hospital that hasn't been built here in Melton. It's been promised for many years, but still a greenfield site, and as well as the state of the local roads. And cost of living is also front of mind for voters. Let's have a listen to what some of them told me.
There's not enough public transport, it's not enough schools.
We need the hospital for sure, and the roads.
Roads are terrible. We need the hospital.
The hospital, you know, the delay of it. I mean, you know, the big area's getting bigger and bigger.
The roads.
There's a lot of potholes and stuff.
Western Highway, no hospital.
I think hospitals and the schools.
Just promise. We'll see when's that going to happen.
So Labor holds this seat by a margin of 5%. Current MP is a former paramedic, Steve McGee, but the Liberals and also an independent candidate running quite strongly here. And this is a seat that Labor insiders have openly told me that they are at risk of losing. So it's certainly one that the Liberals would need to pick up if they want to try and force Labor into a minority government position, given that they have an 18-seat buffer at the moment, Pete. As you said, 10 days to go. Expecting both leaders to be out on the campaign trail again today.
OK, Simon Love, live from Melton. Appreciate it. Thank you. And don't miss the only televised debate of the Victorian election. Daniel Andrews and Matthew Guy head-to-head at the Sky News People's Forum. Tuesday night, 6:30.